Welcome to another episode of Chopstick Travel. I'm Luke.
And I'm Sabrina.
And today is day 3 of our new 2019 updated Taipei series. If you didn't check out the last episode, we visited the best Lurofan restaurant in all of Taipei. This should definitely be near the top of your list if you're coming to Taipei for a food tour. This is probably the #2 most iconic Taiwanese dish after beef noodle soup, and this is definitely the best version of it I've ever tried. That was incredible, super cheap, super authentic, and delicious. What more can you want? So today we have a really exciting episode planned. We're heading about an hour and a half north of Taipei City to a place called Fuji, which has a fish market that I've been dying to go to for a really long time. So we're going to be eating a lot of seafood. We're meeting up with our friend Robert here soon, who's gonna drive us up there. But first we're gonna grab some breakfast. So we don't have a whole lot of time this morning. We're just at 7-Eleven right now. Going to grab one of these little rice triangles for a quick little breakfast before we head to the fish market. So this is my go-to little snack, these Onigiri rice triangles at 7-Eleven. So I'll show you a little trick if you're not familiar with it. There's a 1 here. You gotta pull it down like this. Pull it around the outside. You can, and then #2, you just slide off the end, and then you can kind of put it back on, and then #3, slide off like that. So we've got rice underneath here, a little bit of seaweed, and then I got the chicken kinda, I think it's chicken. Yes, chicken. So let's try a bite here. Very simple, but really delicious actually. There's a little bit of like chicken strips, kind of like shredded chicken inside. And we just needed something really quick because we've got a decent drive ahead of ourselves and we don't want to keep Robert waiting. So heading to meet Robert now. Okay, so we just made it to the Fuji Fish Port. There's a market here, and like I mentioned, you can just buy your seafood and take it to one of the restaurants. This is pretty much as north as you can get in Taiwan. This is my first time here, and the market looks really cool. So we're gonna go down, check out the market, buy our seafood, and have a feast. There are all kinds of exotic seafoods here. I see huge cuttlefish, all kinds of different colorful lobster. I see a lot of pufferfish. I don't think we're gonna be eating pufferfish. Kawaii. 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 Oh, wow, got the camera a little bit wet. Whoa! So the vendors are super friendly here. They're letting us check out all their different seafoods. And check this thing out. I guess the name in English we looked up is Melo Melo. It's a type of, looks like a conch. Look at that, it's like the size of my head.
How heavy was that?
That's gotta be at least 5 or 6 pounds. So that thing is super cool. I've never seen one of those in my whole life. Apparently the Chinese translation actually calls it a papaya snail because it sort of looks like a papaya, but in the Philippines apparently they call it a coconut snail. I've definitely never seen one of those before. So check out this lobster here. He's a little guy but quite blue on the back here. I think this is a rock lobster, I believe. This is a local type of lobster. Ooh. Oh. Ooh, caca. So there's some things here like this horseshoe crab that maybe you shouldn't eat. I'm not sure if these are endangered or what, but we're definitely not gonna be eating this guy, but this is just crazy to see. Look at that. Whoa.
He's got a crazy tail. What an amazing specimen.
Wow, that is crazy. What do you think, Sabrina?
I think this market is really incredible. There are a lot of things here that I've never actually seen at another fish market in Taiwan. So these cuttlefish in particular are really fascinating. The way they swim, they kind of look like squids. They're really interesting to watch.
It's almost like an aquarium.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So this is the stall we're going to be buying it from. Robert's helping us do a little bit of bargaining, and I think we're gonna get a lobster. So now we are picking out our fish. Looks like they have a couple different kinds. So we just bought all our different seafoods. We got 3 different kinds. We got a red snapper, I believe. It's a type of fish, and also a type of Taiwanese lobster and some clams and oysters too. So the total price for the seafood was about 2,500. So we're gonna take it to the kitchen now and watch them prepare. So we just watched the chef preparing the different seafoods that we ordered, and man, he worked really fast. It looks like it's gonna be really good. So some of our dishes have already been prepared while we were watching him cook, so let's start eating. So we're sitting down at the restaurant. This restaurant is just across the street from the actual fish market. They brought our fresh seafood over here and started preparing. A few of our dishes have arrived. We're sitting at these big round tables, and let me introduce what we've got on the table now. So the first dish here is the stir-fried clams, tons of basil, a little bit of chili, and probably some garlic. Oh yeah, definitely some garlic hiding in there. That is a ton of clams. Over here we've got the lobster that we bought. It almost looks like a miso soup. I don't really know what the broth is, but you can see that this is the head of the actual lobster, and then some pieces of tofu in there. And yeah, I think it is miso. It smells really nice. Over here we've got the oysters that have been prepared in a sauce. It looks like a bean sauce, and then once again with tofus, looks like some leeks, and you can see those big juicy oysters in there. So the second half of our lobster has arrived. This is the lobster tail, so you can see this has been steamed. There looks like a ton of meat on there, and it looks like some chopped green onions on the top, and then in a little bit of like a soy sauce underneath, and that just looks like some really juicy lobster. So we are still waiting for our fish to arrive, our steamed fish, but I'm gonna sample some of these clams. You can see that is a big juicy looking clam with a ton of basil, so let's try that. Just quickly stir-fried, really strong flavor of basil because I got a big piece there. And the clam, just a light kind of seafood flavor, but very juicy and not salty whatsoever. That's good. Next up, I'm going to try the miso lobster soup. Check that out. Nice, brilliant red lobster in there. Looks like all the legs and some tofu. I'm gonna get a little bit of leg, get some more soup, and let's try that. Let's just sample the broth first here. Oh yeah, yeah, that's a nice little miso with sort of a seafood infused flavor. And let's try the lobster meat. Let me try to break one of these open, and you can see, look at that. Wow, perfect little lobster crab nugget. Let's try that.
A what?
A lobster crab nugget? What did I call it?
A lobster crab nugget.
I don't know why I call that a lobster crab nugget, lobster lag nugget. That is definitely the sweetest part. So the next dish is the oyster dish. This is with some black beans. You can see them kind of hiding in there. I'm gonna put this all over top of my rice, and it's swimming in that sauce. This looks like it's gonna be really good. That is phenomenal. You can definitely taste a little bit of that bean sort of sweetness. There's quite a bit of garlic in there as well. Those oysters are kind of just saturated with the flavor of that sauce. but that goes really nicely with a little bit of white rice. Just check out that massive piece of garlic on there and some juicy looking oysters. Oh man, this is a feast. So this is definitely what I've been waiting for the whole time. This really muscular, meaty looking lobster. There is huge chunks, and I'm gonna make sure I get that nice and coated in sauce. Let's try that. Oh wow. That is spectacular. That has definitely a bite to it. It's quite firm, yet at the same time, it is very juicy and saturated with that sauce. That bite was absolutely massive. There is a lot of meat on this tail, and I didn't really get any green onions, but let's go in for one more bite. I just can't resist. This is what I came here for. Let's try this. Wow. So our steamed fish has arrived. I believe this is a red snapper. There is a ton of green onions, a little bit of carrot on top, and look at the meat underneath there. Wow. That feels very, very delicate in my chopsticks. So I'm gonna try not to destroy it. Don't wanna take all the green onions there. Very delicate texture, just completely falls apart in your mouth. And a very subtle flavor once again. None of these dishes are very overpowering. There's a little bit of a ginger flavor going on there and lots of green onions. That has a really nice texture. They definitely steamed that to perfection. And there's quite a bit of meat hiding underneath there too. Oh, this is such a good meal, guys. Oh, and no round table seafood dinner in Taiwan is complete without this apple cider. It goes really well. Surprisingly, I'm not a big pop drinker, but this stuff is good. Oh, that fish is awesome. What do you think, Sabrina?
That was awesome. Everything was really fresh. It was cooked the Taiwanese way, which is like the way I prefer. Everything was really garlicky and oily, but super fresh, super tasty. Really nice meal.
Yeah, we are definitely stuffed after that. The fish, I'd have to say, was my favorite. Just perfectly steamed, and then after that was definitely the lobster. It's a cool little restaurant overlooking the harbor. Probably going to just sit here and let everything digest a little bit before we head back to Taipei. So it definitely is a little bit pricey, but if you're considering how fresh and how good quality the seafood is, it's definitely worth it in my opinion, because these people selling the seafood to us actually told us that they themselves caught all of that seafood. Their family members fished it, and then their family members cooked it. So I think it's really a cool experience, a lot of fun, and in a really beautiful setting too here in northern Taiwan. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Sure. Okay, bye Robert. Bye. Thank you. So we are back in Taipei. You can see Taipei 101 behind us here. Thank you to Robert for taking us up to Fuji. That was a lot of fun. And we will put the information for you guys to find it down in the description box. And if you can, you should have someone that can speak Mandarin Chinese with you, just to help you order and tell them how to cook and get the right prices. So I think we're gonna take a little bit of a break. We are still quite stuffed, but there's another restaurant that we actually wanna take you guys to tonight for dinner. So catch back up with you in a few hours. So we are back out for dinner tonight. We are having beef noodle soup, and the Michelin Guide for 2018 in Taipei recommended, I think, 7 or 8 different beef noodle restaurants, and we are at one of them tonight called Fuhong Beef Noodle. It is right here. So let's go order ourselves up some beef noodle. We are sitting down in the restaurant. It is packed out and it is 9 p.m. and one of the really cool facts about this place is that it's open 24 hours, 7 days a week. So they are serious about beef noodles. And we ordered up our bowl. It is quite cheap at only 100 Taiwan dollars. That is a steal for Taipei. So it looks like a very traditional style with a nice clear and brown broth. And it doesn't look oily whatsoever. We've got a couple smaller pieces of beef, and then there's also some more kind of gelatinous pieces as well. And then these beautiful looking noodles underneath, and just a little bit of green onions. So I'm just gonna start by trying the broth. Wow. It's a little bit salty, but it's really light in flavor. There's not too much to it. It's definitely got that regular kind of beef noodle star anise flavor, but other than that, it's quite simple. Let's try the noodles next. These look and feel in my chopsticks very bouncy. Let's try these. Extremely nice texture of those noodles, very bouncy and firm. This is turning out to be quite a good bowl of beef noodles, so there's only one more component left to try. That is the beef. So I've got a nice slice here. Let's try that out. Wow, that is the definition of fall apart in your mouth. Completely disintegrated. That's where the oil is hiding. Usually these bowls of beef noodles and quite a bit of oiliness in the broth, but this one doesn't. It's mostly in that beef, very fatty, and just completely melts in your mouth. That is awesome. This is quite a serious bowl of beef noodles.
So I have ordered myself a small, which is only 90 NT. It's a great price for here in Taipei. And what you shouldn't miss when you come here is these condiments that you'll see on the table. So this one here is beef oil. So there's an orange one, which is spicy with chili, and you'll also notice a dark beef oil. I don't know how it's made, so if you guys know how it's made, let us know in the comments below. And I'm gonna add this chili one to my soup here. So take a little on my spoon, and then a little off my chopsticks, which have been not used yet. And then mix that around. That's gonna add some extra flavor and some spice as well. And it's turning the broth all orange. That looks really good. So I'm just gonna stir it up and then go in for a bite. Wow, that adds like a really beefy kick, but a little bit of spice too. That's not too bad.
Sabrina went in for the beef oil with chili, and I'm gonna go in for just the regular brown kind. So I'm not exactly sure, like we can't figure out how they exactly make this. It's almost like halfway between a sauce and a like powder spice. So drop a little bit of that in there, and then this just looks so good. Not a lot of beef noodle restaurants will have this as a condiment, but whenever it's there, we always make sure we go for it. So let's see how that affects the broth. Yeah, definitely adds a little bit of a smokiness and very deep beefy flavor. I think that one's also got some chili in there, or maybe black pepper, because I can definitely feel that in the back of my throat. But guys, this place is just blowing our minds. It is really cheap and really delicious, and we can see why it's packed out with locals.
Yo.
Finish up with our beef noodles. That was really, really good. But we figured that since we started this day at 7-Eleven, it's only reasonable to end our day at 7-Eleven. So we're gonna go grab another little snack at 7. What are you gonna get, Sabrina?
I'm gonna get a yogurt drink, soothe my belly. See this? Called LP33 functional yogurt. Really good for the digestive tract, and it soothes your stomach after you have something spicy.
I'm going for the cold. So Sabrina's got herself a big yogurt drink.
So good.
I got the same thing here, but just a small version. It's called Yakult. Apparently you're only supposed to drink like one of these a day, but we used to drink like 4 or 5 of them a day. So I'm not sure about that. Not verified information, but I'm pretty sure you're only supposed to have about one because it's like a probiotic drink. Let's try it. Oh yeah, a little bit sweet and a little bit sour. It's really good. How's yours?
Yeah, this one actually tastes exactly like Yakult, but there's not very much sugar. Actually, I think there's no sugar in it, so it's more of a lighter, not very sweet, more of a yogurt flavor drink.
So how often do we go to 7?
Every single day. If you come to Taiwan or if you move to Taiwan, you will probably come here every day. I think 7-Eleven and Family Mart are the lifeline of this country.
And just a pro tip, to sound like a local, don't call it 7-Eleven, just 7. Right?
You got it.
Okay guys, what an incredible day. Thank you once again to Robert for taking us out to the Fuji Fish Port. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And really good beef noodle we had tonight at Fu Hong Beef Noodle. All the information for the places we visited today, except for the 7-Elevens, because you'll find them everywhere, will be down in the description box. And just wanted to say that, like I mentioned earlier, there's like 7 or 8 Michelin recommended beef noodles in Taipei. So we're hoping to taste and film those all this year, hopefully. So that was our first stop and many more to come. So thanks for watching guys. Let us know what you thought of today's episode down in the comment box, and we'll see you again from Taipei very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.